We're just zoomed out. Are you kidding me? What the heck?
Well, that looks
Yeah. It's,
good planning.
let's check YouTube.
Color scheme. I'm so low-key. Mark.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
I'm on my phone. Pulled it up.
Okay, we're good.
Excuse me. I will from being order from driving. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Polson, Alderwoman Aylert, Alderman Whitsitt,
Here.
Alderman Kerrigan,
Here.
Alderman Plackty,
Here.
Alderwoman Starr. We have a quorum.
Always welcome to the visitors, always glad to see faces out there, so thanks for coming in. We will go right to the consent agenda. I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a finance report.
Great.
Maybe before we do that, we did meet tonight, and thank you, Kathy. Brought us up through March, and we are hoping to get April and May at our June finance meeting. We did not look at the purchasing policy tonight, but we are planning to bring that back at our June finance meeting, hopefully get that finalized. And the only Bruce, welcome Bruce to our finance group. And Bruce has asked that maybe we do some tweaking to our debt service spreadsheets, and Kathy's going to work on that when she gets ready. And that's all I have for that. And with that, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Pass 6-0. Thank you. Next up, mayor's report. Not a whole lot. I did want to say something about Lieutenant Salmon and his being chosen as the he was awarded, give recognition as the Missouri Investigators Association Investigator of the Year. That is special. And I'm just reading a little bit about what this distinguished award acknowledges his exemplary dedication to crime resolution, commitment to providing closure and justice for victims, and leadership in fostering regional cooperation among law enforcement entities. Go to the Facebook page of the Odessa Police Department Facebook page. I would encourage you to read why he got this award. Exemplary service. We are so proud of him. Tell him well done from all of
And
that.
I'm bringing him to the June, the.
Oh, please.
You'll
Yes.
get,
Yes, but I just
bring
wanted
him
to.
up and let you all say thank you to him.
Absolutely, that is just outstanding. Did want to mention the water tower lights, how special they looked. I don't know who thought that up, it wasn't me. But Darren, good job on that. They've got they got a lot of buzz about that. And I wanted to thank Troy for getting the flag fixed. The top of it fell off and was damaged. Troy does, he found a way to fix that, and he even repainted it. Did you repaint it? Yeah, he repainted it gold like it was supposed to be. It wasn't gold anymore, was it? It was like, I don't know, concrete gray. But anyway, damage, he fixed it. He got the flags put up all before Memorial Day. So well done. Thank you so much for the effort on that. And with that, that's my report. I'll move to Alderman Platt.
Okay, we went to the Planning and Zoning Committee the other day. PUD was discussed. It was sent back to the staff to consider other cities' PUDs and refine the plan. So, that being said, I've been selected to be the liaison that reports back to the Board of Aldermen and provides a better communication between us and the Planning and Zoning Committee. The PUD was discussed. A discussion is a two-way exchange of ideas for the understanding and potentially reaching shared conclusion. A discussion is characterized by mutual respect, open-mindedness, and willingness to listen and learn from each other. A discussion is not a debate or an argument where the goal is to win. The Planning and Zoning Committee is a volunteer citizen committee, and they take their jobs very seriously. As aldermen, we are elected officials who represent the city, who are to adhere to a code of ethics that governs our behavior. I would like to say to Shauna Davis that I have the utmost respect and admiration for her composure and level-headedness through this discussion. That is my report, sir.
Thank you very much. Alderman Carey.
Thank you, Mike. I also attended that meeting, and it was a good discussion. And I thank Shauna in an email for leading that discussion. What came from that discussion is Mike proposed or mentioned that it is going back to the city. There was a misunderstanding of what the PUD allowed us to do from the planning and zoning, and once they fully understood what it could allow, they agreed that it needed minimum requirements put in it. And so they pulled it back and sent it back to the city for more revising. So I was grateful for them and their willingness to discuss and talk about it. We did not agree at first what it was, but once we finally got down to it and the city did say, yes, this is what it really is, they did agree it was not good for the city of Odessa the way it was. So I appreciate that, and I thank Sean again for facilitating that. That was a good discussion. I think the PUD can be a good thing. I think we're moving in a very positive direction for it. So other than that, that's all I have.
Alderwoman Pulse.
I too attended the meeting, but I left, so there could be a discussion because would have been a quorum, so they could have a discussion. So it's good. I'm glad that some things got discussed and looks like it's moving forward.
Excellent. Thank you. Alderman Elliott.
With what, I'm piggybacking on what Carla just said, and while we've got our attorney here, if several of us, all of us showed up to a planning and zoning meeting and did not make a vote or discussion, can we stay?
If a quorum or more of you is in attendance and city business is being done, then you need to notice that as a meeting.
But what if we have on the planning and zoning agenda that there could be a quorum of the board at that meeting,
As long as you notice that there could be a quorum of the board, then you're good. Yeah.
which we did?
And so therefore, it was put on there, and so Carla didn't really need to leave.
Yeah, as long-
It was, I don't think it was.
I don't think that.
It was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the end of the agenda that it says a quorum of the Board of Aldermen it may occur or something like that. I don't know the exact,
Most of those agendas.
it's on all of them, yeah.
So I'll just reiterate, if we state on the bottom of the agenda that a quorum might be there and no vote will be taken, none of us have to leave.
True. The only caveat to that would be to make sure that you respect the process in terms of,
Robert's
Not-
rules and.
yeah, not interjecting yourself sounds so harsh, but if you're there to observe and answer questions, that's probably fine. But I would encourage you to let them do their work and then report back to you, so that we just don't run afoul. You don't want somebody to think that they've been leaned on or to later say they were leaned on or something like that, so. But it's perfectly fine for you guys to be there as long as it's noticed, to observe the process and get a better idea to help you inform your vote.
Okay, but Carla needed to leave in order for Colin to have a discussion with the board?
No, as long as it was noticed on the agenda that there was gonna be there, then it's fine. You can have a quorum, 3 or more of you there at a time.
That's what I understood, so just wanted to verify that because what happened seemed to be out of the norm. So,
Yeah.
thank you for.
And I didn't catch that. That's purely a Karen covering all bases. I didn't realize it said that at the bottom.
So for future Okay,
Thank you for clarifying.
and that's all I had.
Thank you. Alderman Stark.
I have nothing.
All right, Alderman Whitson.
Nothing to report.
All right, let's move on. City Administrator report, Sean.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Aldermen. We have, well, first I'll start with the Parks Department. We did not have a Parks report in our meeting this morning, but I will report that as of right now, we are not opening the pool at our normal time. You might have seen that on Facebook, but because of the abnormally low temperatures, we're not able to open the pool. Technically, you have to have, specific lows and highs have to add to X amount in order for us to open the pool. So we're not hitting those numbers. So right now, I think, we're gonna monitor it, but it looks like we're probably gonna plan for June 1st, generally speaking. So unless things just really warm up, but so just wanted to let you know that on the pool department, but for the wastewater department, normal operations, and we are still processing solids. We are moving forward with a pump station repair that will utilize our system improvement dollars within our capital improvement fund this year to replace a panel at the northwest pump station. So that will move forward and we'll get that installed within the next 30 days. The sewer department is now overseeing the locates for sewer. So we have a couple staff that are already trained and then some staff that are becoming trained on doing those locates. We have a lot of locates. That's a trend with each of our public works departments. They're inundated with locates every day. So with the finance department, we have the fiscal year closed out for the fiscal year ending in March of 2025. We are still waiting on the final audit transfers to officially close it out, but based on the unaudited numbers, it is closed out. Kathy will be meeting with each department in the next week or two to discuss budget and CIP tracking as she kind of gets introduced to the city of Odessa, and she had her first finance committee meeting tonight. That went very well. For Darren with the street and water departments, he'll be starting on Centennial Hills for the 2025 street plan here soon, starting with patchwork first. We do have, unfortunately, in the water department, we have the scale for our chlorine is currently down. So we'll get that repaired as soon as possible. And then we'll be moving forward with the repair of the drain and the silo, which is a part of our capital improvement plan. Focusing on street work this week and getting a few remaining street cuts completed. We were able to provide dust control to Main Street this year. And as we were also able to provide 3 loads of additional rock to that street. So that's come up in the past and we were able to get that accomplished. We were able to also paint the 4-way. We got lots of compliments on that. We got that done overnight so there'd be low traffic and ample time for it to dry. So thank you for that crew. And we will be, the crew has started to discuss kind of planning out the next phase of the Pine Creek townhomes and how they're going to make improvements to the water tap installations that they have, because it's kind of hit them all at once. We are continuing our relationship with the Army Corps of Engineers. That will come to us and continue to evolve, but Darren noted that their presence in that area has already resulted in some benefits for us where they provided some additional security to our wells by keeping some trespassing off of that property already. So we're excited about that. The wayfinding signs have arrived and the posts are ordered. So those will soon be installed citywide. And again, those were purchased by the chamber and will be installed by the city. And then one thing we're working on putting together is a generator inspection contract. Each department currently gets all of their generators inspected on an annual basis. And there's a cost savings component if we were to combine those into a contract, so we're working towards getting that accomplished. For the electric department, the 12470 breaker is officially installed, providing us with some resiliency within our substation. So we're very excited to finally have that official. We've got a security gate installed at the entrance of the electric plant. The electric department is also focused on the multiple locates that are hitting their department. And then they are starting to do a little bit of work in regards to the conversion project where they will be working on a pole replacement on West Dryden on the hill / Main Street. So that's a part of that conversion project. We will be contracting out the majority of the work for the conversion, but this is just a little prep work to get that kind of underway. And then the department itself is working on the CIP list. And then we also have MPUA. We've been working to coordinate with MPUA to come to present to our board at our next meeting on the APPA Reliability Award that was awarded to us. So we'll get more information to you on that in our next meeting, but MPUA will be presenting that to you. And community development, we have Jones Warehouse is getting very close to occupancy. So they're waiting on a transformer at this time and working towards possible temporary occupancy as they get kind of their workstations and everything set up and get compliance with the fire regulations and things like that. Cherokee Construction, they're constructing the houses at 106, 116, and 108 south or north south Johnson Drive. And 106 and 116 are both under construction, and then 108 is almost ready for final inspection. The business license process is really ramping up. Those will start up, or will renew. July 1 is when they'll be due. We do have our new system in place for that. We're kind of working through some ripples, if you will, because it is our first year of renewal with our new system. So we ask everyone to bear with us to an extent, but we're confident that we'll be able to get through the process of our first year of renewals. And then Christy will be conducting all of the business and safety inspections, which consists of making sure that the proper exit lighting and things like that is in each of our Odessa businesses in town. And then we do have a Board of Adjustment meeting coming up for the dance and acro facility at 106 West Mason for a sign variance. For the police department, we have the SRO position posted, and the review of applications will be next week. The SROs this summer will be covering summer school, which will start tomorrow through June, and then that will be followed by a week-long conference after summer school is completed. And we have done some code enforcement things. We've had some code enforcement successes, if you will. So I know some of you are aware of our work that we've been doing with 500 South 5th Street with the dumpster enclosure. So they're under new property management that is communicating with the city pretty well. So we're hopeful that they are going to move forward with some major property improvements in that subdivision, if you will. And 610 East Orchard has also proposed some repaving work within their property. We're continuing our discussions with the Outlet Mall, who's also looking towards doing some repaving work at the old Outlet Mall site. And we are continuing discussions with a potential developer there as well. We've had a lot of discussions with both residents and with advanced industries about their current parking situation. They are currently growing at a very rapid rate for their business. And as you know, they are trying to expand their business the Jones warehouse facility is where they're currently going to expand to. That'll relieve some of their parking problems that they have. So we are trying to work with them to find resolutions to their parking issues that they have. So currently, there's not really violations that their employees are doing. They're parking in legal parking places at this point. So we've met with them in person and we're working with them as best we can to try to find solutions. So just if you get any phone calls or anything on that topic. We talked about a little bit about possibly replacing the truck route signs in town today. Not today, but we talked about it today. And then the police department has received a partial grant to go towards the startup of a drone program. And is seeking future grant funding for the rest of the program. And as you know, we signed off on the Ring Central agreement, so we'll have an admin training meeting for that phone system this week. And we'll hopefully get that system out to the rest of our employees soon thereafter. City Hall has had their new laptops installed by Logan Seals, and we're very happy with that transition. The strategic plan board retreat will be held on June 2nd. I will let you know the location just as soon as I know it. And we held both of our strategic plan focus group meetings over the past 2 weeks with the consultants. Those were very successful. And I think Lauren, our consultant, is very excited to compile that information for you guys and bring it to you for your discussion purposes. So I'm very excited about the strategic plan board retreat to see where our conversations take us. I do have an agenda ready for that. It is at 3:30 till 7:30, and I'll have a meal for you. We do have a meeting with MoDOT this week, actually tomorrow, for the I-70 interchange and bridge design. So I'll know more information about that after tomorrow's meeting. I'll be attending the Missouri Economic Development Conference next week to learn a little bit more about that topic. And we have held our new alderman orientation where we had both new and old aldermen attend. I think that went very well. I wanted to thank our department directors for their very great tours that they provided to the board members. And then we have been working with both Navigate and OWN to determine a plan for the sidewalk project moving forward. And I do feel confident that we have kind of a course of action to move us forward and to get us towards a second bidding in June. And then also a bid process. We'll have to push a bid process out for construction engineering. So we do have a plan kind of in play for that, and we'll just kind of work towards getting that accomplished. So for planning and zoning, we will be meeting on June 17th this month instead of June 19th. Juneteenth, Thursday, June 19th is a holiday for city staff. So we've moved the planning and zoning meeting from Thursday to Tuesday. I think that is everything.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, we'll move to public comments, but before we go into public comments, just a reminder to the board and to people giving comments that this is a time of to address the board, but it's not a discussion time. Okay, time to voice your concerns in front of the board, but not a discussion time. Just a reminder. All right, and we have Dr. Janet Smith of the property concern who wants to come up and visit about. Hold up, Janet.
Mr. Mayor, may I hand these pictures out to
Yes.
pass around? I'm gonna start here with Aldermen. Honorable Mayor and Honorable Alderman, thank you so much for allowing me to come and speak in front of you tonight. I have a couple of things that I just wanted to chat with you about. I understand, I'm sorry, you're not gonna chat with me, I'm just about to let you know what it is that I have to say here tonight. You may or may not be aware of it, I know Kathy is, there is a new organization within Warrensburg, called the Downtown Odessa Collective. We're working on that thing. And in that collective, we have just recently come out with some bylaws, but I wanted to let you know that as part of that group, I am now the chairwoman for the Economic Vitality Group of the Downtown Odessa Collective. And the role that I will be playing in that group is developing business retention, expansion, and recruitment strategies for the downtown area. Now, what you have before you are some pictures, some renderings of the building that I own at 209 West Mason. And we are taking that building and restoring it to how it looked in 1914. And in addition to that, we were also seeking National Historic certification or registry for that building. So we are in the process of doing that at this time. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is I've had some concerns and problems, which Chief Thompson, and you have a new officer that you're going to be recognizing tonight, Galen Seitz, have helped me with, and I want to tell them how much I appreciate you. I've had some ordinance concerns with my neighbor that some trespassing concerns, and this is the fourth time that I've experienced this since I purchased the building in 2022, but I was given authority over the building in 2021. And those issues included cleaning out the alleyway, the first one. The second one was really quite unusual in that there were some, I feel like I'm being harassed right now by.
Yeah.
You're not part of
Like
this.
to do so.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect right to video.
That's fine, but I'm gonna have to remove back over
Yes, sir.
here. You can video, just back over here, please. Thank you.
The second one was that somehow water lines were, I have 3 stories in this building, a basement, a first story, and a second story. And water lines came through the west side of my basement wall, and they were huge water lines just out and then out the east. It was my understanding that it supported her water in her building. It took me quite a while to convince her to move her water lines. Although I gave her in a letter 2 weeks to do so, I was very generous because there was a beauty shop there and I didn't want any of the buildings there to suffer any economic damage while the water was down. So I waited patiently for that. The third thing was my attorney and I talked about this. I have a very dangerous metal staircase on my building, and her residence and her apartment, as well as her and her employee, were using it even after I asked them not to do it. Finally, she built her own stairs, but I had to wait a long time for that. And then today, I have somehow or another, her gutter goes from her building on top of the old city hall building and is attached to my building. Now, you're probably saying, why is this a problem for me? Well, I'm suffering greatly in economic terms in that insurance is higher for me. Number one. Number two, I'm suffering from increased costs of construction loans because I can't convert it. And Bruce will tell you, excuse me, Alderman Whitsitt will tell you, I can't depreciate the building until I have people in there. And so I'm suffering financially, and the water that is coming from her gutter is going into my basement, which is causing a wet basement. So I'm suffering financially from all of this. However, when I talked to the city about this, I was told that it was simply a civil disagreement. I disagree with that. I think it is an ordinance issue, and I did look that up. And Chief Thompson was very kind in turning this over to the codes enforcer. Now, the gutter is still there, and I'm hoping that it'll be removed soon. But I'm really suffering in getting this building remodeled and going forward with it. And I just wanted to say thank you, Chief Thompson, and the new police officer sites, but I'm really struggling. Additionally, I have some communication lines that I had was it Troy? Is Troy here tonight? Did you come and see me about that? Your electric lines are fine, but the communication lines are on my building that is going to her building. And I can't do anything about that because they're not my lines. So, and I'm taking the awning off in front of that building, and I'm concerned that I'm gonna snap those lines. Additionally, several weeks ago, I sent a text to her and I said, can we take this pipe that's between our two buildings down? And I'll even give it to you so you can recycle it. Still have not heard from her. Still have not heard from her on it. And I'm worried that mice or snakes or whatever, there's no need for that pipe to exist between our two buildings. Now, it is true that at one point, these two buildings were owned by the same person. However, since 2022, this building is mine. And I'm trying desperately to bring it back so that we can have this wonderful building, historical building in downtown Odessa, and I'm suffering from it. So I just wanted to say thank you to the chief tonight for looking into that, but I'm just at my wit's end. And I'm not trying to cause a problem with Danya. In fact, we have little to no communication with each other. But what I'm trying to do is reside peacefully with quiet enjoyment on my building. And I seem to, 4 times now, I seem to have her trespassing my building. And I have to tell you, at one point, and I'll be done in just a second, she had an employee named Donald working for her. And I don't know why he did this, and there's a police report on this, but he would stand on the catwalk and say F you to me out loud in public many times. And I reported it to the police and they said there's nothing they can do about it. But I can tell you that I have people from Overland Park, Lenexa, Olathe, Blue Springs coming to see me with their children hearing this. And at one point, he was backing up in front of my store so he could gun it and blow black fumes everywhere while he's yelling F you, F you. And there was nothing that I did to bring that on. And that will drive people away from Odessa if they hear that. So, I mean, I haven't seen him since he did that, but that did happen. And I haven't done anything except ask her not to be on my building. So that's all I wanted to say today. And I wanted to tell you how excited I am to bring this 111-year-old building back to the way that it was in 1914 with National Historic Register certification. I hope you enjoyed the pictures today. And I hope that you'll come. It's a farm to table store. We're going to be selling many of the items from farmers around here. And we hope to make this one of the best places in Odessa to come and visit. Thank you for your time, and I will not expect any comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Smith.
I'm gonna just get my pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. No old business, so we're going to new business. And that
Mayor.
is the introduction.
Is there any other public comments?
Do I get a chance to respond?
You didn't ask if there were any other public comments.
Are there any other public comments? I don't have any of papers and I don't. documents today.
That's my fault. I didn't bring the papers today.
Do I get?
Yes.
So, as far as the trespassing goes.
You need to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Diane Holt, and I own the buildings 127 to 135 South Second. My husband and I bought it in 1998. I started working on it in 17. My husband passed away in 13. We redid 3 of the 4 storefronts, and Sybil Shepherd told me they were changing the code, and I
took the necessary steps to get the permit to redo the apartments upstairs, and I worked on it from 2018 to April 2022. We got the approval. You know, I had to have a architect draw up plans. I had to have structural engineer numerous times. And when we first bought the building in 98, our water lines went in through the basement of Janet's building, 209 West Mason, and it came in our building. And as I was doing the construction, Steve Thurman, the previous owner, said I could run the water lines through that building. He gave me a written permission. I did not file that, you know, at the courthouse. So, you know, she wanted me to move the water lines. You know, I couldn't get them moved in 2 weeks. You know, I had to get someone agree to do it. I had Bob Jeffries and Tom Jennings. They did a wonderful job. They didn't hit a gas line. They didn't burn down the city block. Anyway, so, yes, clean out the alley. We cleaned it out when she complained. You know, I moved the water lines. You know, she didn't want us going down the steps because they were on her property. I built new steps. All of this is in the past. This gutter issue was brought to my attention on Saturday, May 17th. The police called me on the 19th. I had an appointment on the 22nd. It was right before Memorial Weekend. I met with someone today. Now the issue runs, you know, if I run the water line to the north, it will go on the sidewalk. So we're trying to work through the code and different things. When I bought my building, I had title insurance. You'd think some things would be grandfathered in. But anyway, I've stepped into trying to get the water lines moved. Her water line came down there too. And it wasn't just my gutterings wore off in front of the old city hall. So, and there are other reasons for the water. The reasons for the water are the steps that go down into her basement, for all the broken windows on the basement. For 30 years, ever since we bought it in 98, all the windows have been boarded up. As far as the pipe, you know, if the pipe is cut, it could cause structural damage. We do not know where that pipe goes. The stairway, if she cuts her half and removes it, my half of the stairway isn't supported. You know, is it going to damage my building? You know, are the workers licensed and insured and bonded? But anyway, I mean, and as far as Donnelly, he hasn't worked for me since June of 22, and I'm sorry he harassed because I was not aware that he was doing that. But I mean, I've always worked with the city, and I spent a long time fixing up my building, and I intend to resolve any kind of water issue from my guttering. And thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate letting me respond.
Very well.
And I have had trouble with the weeds. You know, I had to text you 3 times last year to get the weeds cut because they get 6 and 8 feet tall, and then we have a bug problem in my storefronts. And that's all I've ever complained about. I haven't complained about the broken window in the front for the last 4 years. This is year number 4. All I complained about is keep the weeds cut so we can have bugs. We don't like roaches, so thank you, appreciate it.
Very welcome, thank you. Any other public comments? Or not? All right. Now we'll move on to new business. Now we have an introduction of staff. And we'll let Chief Thompson introduce his new officer.
As you know, it's one of my favorite things I get to do is introduce staff to you all. Gailene Seitz is here with us tonight, and I'm pleased to introduce her. She joined the Odessa Police Department late March.
March 30.
There you go. She knows to the date, 2025. She's been with us right at 2 months now, right? Doing a wonderful job. And I'll explain a little bit about some of the jobs she's been doing. Gailene brings a diverse background to her role. She serves part-time as a codes enforcement officer in Wellington. Her other professional experience includes school bus driver. Thank you for that. And as a mail delivery professional for the United States Post Office. Since joining our department, Kayleen has demonstrated a strong proficiency for code enforcement, and she's handled a large variety of codes enforcement issues already. In just a short amount of time. And there's a few examples I put down, some of the calls she's already handled and handled well. Tall weeds and grass, April mowing season, the tall weeds and grass kick off, and she's been very good at notifying property owners before complaints come in. That it's time to get their properties maintained through the tall weeds and grass abatement program. Junk and abandoned and unregistered vehicles is on her list, and I can talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Unsafe and abandoned structures. We've gotten several structures already demolished and ready for new construction on the site. 60 days, she got that. A dumpster enclosure compliance program with several of our properties. You've heard about 500 South Fifth Street. We'll have a dumpster enclosure there pretty soon. She's been working with those folks. Paved surface issues, the Alton Mall being a large one of those. 610 East Orchard being another large property paved surface issue. And then some that kind of go unnoticed, but large vegetation overgrowth that cause safety concerns for motoring traffic, trees that block intersections. She's resolved some of those for us. She's identifying more. Those are just a few examples. Did I get them all?
I think so.
Okay. Okay.
It's been so much. It's been.
Galen is known for her highly professional demeanor when interacting with the public. I've observed her interact with the public both on the phone and in person. Wonderful. She never talks down to people. She understands them on their level and she works with them. Our goal is not to write tickets. Our goal is to get them to voluntarily abate their problems. Sometimes it just takes education, and she's working very well at that point. Sometimes people don't even understand that what's going on their property violates codes. So she's teaching them and helping them understand why it's violating codes. She has a remarkable ability to learn quickly. We put her on our new codes enforcement software, and she runs it better than I could ever run. We're very anxious to get that software rolled out to the public here in June, which we know will put a little more work on her, but she's ready to handle the call volume that's coming in on that new cloud permit software. You got it. I tell you, I'm particularly enthusiastic about Galen's potential and our desire for her to pursue her certification in codes enforcement through the American Association of Codes Enforcement. We're going to get her started on some classes. She's super excited about getting that accomplished here in 2025. So I hope that, towards the fall, maybe towards the end of the year, I can come back and tell you that she successfully got her codes enforcement certification. Outside of her professional life, Galen enjoys outdoor living. She has a hobby farm, right? Horses,
Cattle.
Yeah, she has a little bit of everything, which I think helps her on her animal control side. She loves animals, loves dogs, takes really good care of our dog pound. We have two. If anyone is interested in adoption, I've got two dogs right now that are up for adoption.
Sweethearts too.
They are sweethearts, yeah. And she works really well with my staff to get those posted out on social media. I'm confident, we are confident that Galen will continue to be a valuable asset to our team and this community. So welcome, Galen. We appreciate you coming on. Good. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay.
All right, moving on to bill number 2025-12. Introduction and reading of proposed ordinance authorizing the mayor to appoint Kathy Thompson to the position of finance director for the city of Jessup. I would take a motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2025-12.
Oh, my God. I will motion.
Thanks.
I'll make a motion to approve bill number 2025-12, first reading, to appoint finance director Kathy Thompson.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor of the first reading? 6-0. Any discussion?
No, she giving one. I'm proud to have her.
Then we will move on to the second reading. Introduction.
Does not be saying any bids at the top of the title on the ordinance.
Uh-oh.
Got a typo?
What was that again?
So this is Amy Finch on the ordinance. Can you bring that up?
If we have in there saying the scrivener's error on our ordinance, say at the bottom.
I have to check.
Mayor, do we have a line at the bottom that says, clerk's authorized to correct scrivener's errors on this one?
On the ordinance
I
itself?
do not know.
Oh, shoot. Let me check.
Well, mine didn't have it.
Oh, you have it in front of you? I don't think so.
I will stick that one, but I don't think we did that one. Nope. Now. And her name is correct down here though, right? In the,
Yeah.
And it has 2025-00
Oh, that's okay.
instead of 12.
That part's okay.
I think we can move to amend the ordinance to amend the title. And that shouldn't be a problem.
I'm not.
It's on the top of the ordinance.
In the title itself,
Oh, okay.
so you just need a motion to amend the title to correctly reflect the applicants or the appointees name, Thompson, correct, Ms. Thompson?
Mhm.
Move to amend the title of ordinance 2025-12 and replace the name Amy Finch with Kathy Thompson. Second. Got a motion and a second, all in favor of the amendment? 6-0, thank you.
So then they still have to go then to
Now we can
first
go
and
to second
second.
reading
Okay.
based on the amendment.
Yes, first and second reading of the amended
Okay.
ordinance.
So then, wait, first and second reading of the
amended?
amended.
As amended, of the
As
ordinance as amended, yes.
So first,
Yeah,
Do we need to do a first reading again?
yes, just to be clear, yes.
Okay.
First reading again, first and second reading again. But by title only, make sure we properly reflect it with the as amended.
is the first one null then?
Because they had the wrong title. It's just cleaner.
So start, basically start over.
Just needed.
To approve bill number 2025-12, first reading, amended with title change from Amy to Kathy for appointment of finance director. Is
I
that-
think that's clear.
I'll second.
All in second, that all in favor? First reading passes. All right, Bruce, you get to do the second reading.
Yeah. You have to say approve the bill as written.
So move to approve. We approving the second reading.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, move to approve the second reading of ordinance 2025-12 as amended, replacing the name Amy Finch with Kathy Thompson. Appointing her as finance director for the city of Odessa, Missouri.
And then you have to say approve the bill as an ordinance.
Have to say what?
Approve the bill as an ordinance.
And approve the bill as an ordinance.
Got it.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion, second, roll call. Aye.
Alderman Kerrigan,
Yes.
Alderman Placky,
Yes.
Alderwoman Starr. Alderwoman Polson,
Yes.
Alderwoman Aylert,
Yes.
Alderman Whitsitt.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Or bill passes 6-0.
Yeah, that's good catch, so.
All right, moving on to the recommendation and appointment of Parks and Recreation Board 3-year term. Alderman Kerrigan, which fulfill the review. You wish to recuse? Yep. Thank you. Alderman Kerrigan recused because his wife is one of the appointees. All right, so recommendation appointment of Parks and Recreation Board. This is a 3-year term. We are recommend appointment for Madeline Kerrigan. Reappointment to 2028, John Elliott, reappointment to 2028, and Mike Duncan, reappointment to 2028. I would take a motion to approve these appointments.
I'll make a motion that we approve the recommendations. Rec board.
Got a motion, and a second, all in favor? 5-0. And one recused. Thank you.
Okay, Colin? Sir?
Good hear me.
All right. Now we have a motion of approval, motion for approval of the 2025 to 2026 School Resource Officer Memorandum of Understanding, otherwise known as an MOU, with the Odessa R7 School District and the City of Odessa. Any discussion on this? It's the same thing we've done.
Yeah.
Like, Chief,
It's
no
wonderful.
changes?
It's wonderful that we have these grant opportunities for that. The only question I had, and Shauna kind of brought it up in her Alderman report, what these SRO officers do in the summertime when school's out. And when I read through here, it kind of was up to the police, your department to do. What happens to these? They take a little bit of time off, they go for a week of training.
Great question. Excuse me. This year, their summer school, is a big part of their job. Yep, through the month of June. And then they have, we fill their a lot of July is training and their built up PTO time, their vacation time. Because I want them into school during school year. Now, the city is very generous with PTO, so it's not unusual for them to take a 2-week vacation during the July period. Then they report back in August to get their, just like teachers report back for classroom, they report back to do an audit of school safety and security. We do more training in-house, and then school starts back up, I think, the middle of August this year, maybe closer to the 20th, but that's what we do with their time.
Do they ever, work in the force around, I mean, they're just SRO, so are they ever called?
99.9% of the time, they are assigned to the school and that's their function. You will see them at puddle jumpers. There are some community events that I think it's important for them to interact with the same children that they go to, they police at the school. And so you'll see them, I'm sorry.
That they go to school with.
Yeah. And so they will walk in and interact with the public during puddle jumpers. You might see them interacting with folks potentially at the rodeo, other public events, our 4th of July celebration. There might be an SRO that comes out for that. And our whole goal with that is to continue that interaction through the summer so that new students coming in might still be able to interact with the SRO.
Very good. Thank you for that.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Great question.
Any further discussion? All right, so I'll take a motion to approve the motion for approval of the MOU for 2025-26 School Resource Officer Program.
I move that we approve the MOU for 2025-26 School Resource Officer Program.
I'll second.
In a second, all in favor, 6-0, motion passes. Thank you. Our next scheduled meeting is June 9th, 2025, right here at 7 p.m. And with that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor, 6-0, we are adjourned.
Yeah. And then as much as I said,
That's awesome.
how does every year